don't care. My community needs help. And as long as he does something for this community, I don't care what his color is, I don't care what his background is, I don't care if I don't like the way he ties his shoes or puts on his coat. If at the end of the day, my community is not helped out of the mire that it's in, that's what I want. And the only one who seems to know the issues and stands up, I don't even have to talk about it. He gave a demonstration of it 5 minutes ago. He got up and talked about regentrification, which we know is a repeated reality that we have to deal with on a daily basis, and nobody is fighting for us, and nobody is doing anything for us, but now we have a chance to rescue this city. And he's the chance. So when you go back to New York, don't just look at whether we can pull it off or not. Don't just look at the so-called rhetoric. Don't just look at, well, we don't know. Look at this community and look at his character. We need him. Because if this community is not any better a year from now than what it is now, and he makes the difference, I'll be frank with you. I will say the reason why he's not in office is because you didn't do anything. And you didn't do anything. And you didn't do anything. And the blood won't be on my hands. The blood will be on yours. This is not just an election as usual and to give gratuities out. I want this community saved. And I have nothing against, please, I have nothing against his opponent. One of the reasons why I don't, I'm black. Black, when they got sense, don't oppose black. I love everyone. Christ would have me to love everyone. But I pay particular attention to what I go through as a black man. So I have immediate sympathy for what black people are trying to do. But Brian has not done and cannot do what is necessary for the city, for Niagara Falls, because he's bigger than just the community. Let me say that as an adjunct. He's addressed issues about Niagara Falls, about Buffalo, this whole territory. But he has not neglected this community, and he's proven it. So, though I love Brian, and he's my brother, he is not going to make a difference when it comes to people getting arrested in the street. He's not going to make a difference to all that blight that I have to look at every day. He's not going to make a difference in the Niagara Falls, Buffalo economy. He is not going to make a difference. He has given a chance. He's only helped one area, and the other areas have been left blighted. This man will make the difference. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm with him. Because we want to do something that when we go to bed at night, I can sleep. I'm not a perfect man, but I have done everything in my power to build this community up. And he makes the difference. So what I'm saying to you, you have an opportunity to make history today. For the first time, we will have an Albanian representative. For the first time, we will have something that the people want. So we won't fail. Now, to the relief of all our wonderful years, love you, brother. I will sit down and I will end what I said. Oh, let's go turkey.
Well, I like Spencer. I want Spencer to say a few words because Spencer is another hardcore individual that has worked with young men and women here in our community. I know he's seen from the best and the worst of families bring their children here. And I want Spencer to really express why. I want reality. I don't want no bullshit. Because that's the only way we're going to do this.
Let me just say this. Chuck and I go back a long ways. And Chuck was a member of First Centennial Missionary Baptist Church. And he was a deacon in training, and I was a deacon training. And make a long story short, Chuck had been out here trying to do some positive things for the youth in our community, because they were killing each other, because one guy got this territory, somebody got that territory, drive-by killings and stuff like that. And Chuck brought it up at the church. Some of the members listened to him, others didn't. And I saw the sincerity that Chuck had. And I talked with Chuck. I told him what I was doing as far as the outsource center. And I told him one of the things that we needed to do is put together a program where we can educate and teach our young people a trade. So my nephew and I got together and we formed the Outsource Center. And the Outsource Center is a program that is basically a 10-week course, 5 weeks of soft skills and 5 weeks of on-the-job training. My nephew made a statement: nothing stops a bullet like a job. And I heard our mayor use that in his campaign. I said he has a lot of nerve to use that quote that my nephew made. But again, what I want to say is that Ed came to me and told me that he was going to run against Brian Higgins. And he had talked to my nephew, and Dorian said that he was going to assist him in any way he can. And I asked Dorian, so what do you know about him? Dorian told me, he said, when I ran against Betty Jean Grant, he said, I went to Ed and asked him for support. Told him he need money. He said, Ed shelled out some money for his campaign. Never asked for it to be paid back or anything like that. And I said, well, sound like to me, he's the man we need to get behind. I said, because Brian Higgins had not done jack shit for the east side of Buffalo, other than that hospital up there, the Cancer Research Hospital, and the waterfront. I wrote the congressman and asked for support for the Outsource Center. We're the only minority training program that ever placed 49 people on one job in the city of Buffalo. And of that 49, 5 were women, 4 were black, 1 was white. My point is, we have a proven track record, because I didn't write the article, okay? He didn't write the article. Buffalo Evening News did their research and wrote this about the Outsource Center and what we have done. We placed additional 17 people at the home program for Laparelli Construction. Now these are men who were out in the street selling dope, throwing bricks at the police, and everything else. They came through our training program, and after we finished with them, we placed them on jobs. Now, some of them didn't keep the jobs, but the outsource center did what we were supposed to do, and that's give them an opportunity. And it was not just a job, it was a career, was what we were trying to do. And we went to the city. I went down to City Hall, and I took brochures and information. I gave them to each one of the councilmen. Okay, and we had, what, 11 councilmen or something like that? And I asked for support. Now, I want you to understand one reason. We were up against organizations that have been in existence for 50 years, maybe 100 years. Buffalo Urban League, controlled by the white man. Okay? I know my nephew don't like me talking like this, but I'm telling you the truth. They control, okay, over 100 years. CAO, been there 50 years. The adult training and BOCES, been there at least 25 years. All of these entities is supported by federal dollars, state dollars, and the system. Okay? Now, the new kid on the block is the outsource center. Okay? They did not want us to be successful. And the reason why they didn't want us to be successful is because they want the black community to stay exactly where it's at, so that federal dollars will continue coming into this city, of which they take the money once it get here and take it to other communities, never spending that money in the black community. So they don't want guys like Dorian and myself to rock the boat, because if we continue producing, we have a total of 325 graduates through our program. My nephew and I fund this, I would say, 75% out of our pockets. The other 25% came because what a lot of people didn't know until I started talking and my nephew started talking, everybody who graduates from high school is entitled to a $5,000 federal grant. You're entitled to it. You graduate from high school. You never claimed it because you never knew about it. So many minorities didn't know about this. So I was the source, my nephew and I was the source of opening this up. Now, it was controlled by Workforce Investment. Workforce Investment is the entity funded by the federal government and the state. They control all the money. So our students had to go through Workforce Investment. Okay? Now, we start sending the people down to 77 Goodo. All right? They processed them. Byron Brown happened to be the president of the council, or the program there. So he came up with the bright idea, we're going to charge these people. Now that our numbers are up, prior to the outsource center coming on board, okay, 77 Goodo was suffering because they couldn't get enough people to continue coming through their program. So when we started, okay, we sent, I gotta say, the first month, we must have sent over 100, 150 people through the program. And at first, they started sending them back.
Can I just add
Sure.
to something? 77 Goodell. When I was running the Bush, when I was the director of Bush with those projects, 77 Goodell was bringing me 20 to 30 students per day at my program. Their job is to train them, but I believe is one of the worst programs New York has.
Is that the BETC?
BOCES?
BETC.
I'm talking about Goodell, BOCES.
It's one of the best.
How can it be one of the best when they don't
Because
have,
it's doing what it's designed to do.
is it resulting with it?
No,
No.
it's not designed to get results. It's designed.
Well, it's one of the best for them.
Right.
Oh,
Okay, well, it's not, to me, it's one of the worst.
So I want you to know, it's doing what it, see,
Yeah, well, you're kind of giving misinformation. You're making it sound like they're doing a damn good job.
no, I didn't say that.
Well, that's what it sounds like.
But that's what
They
it
are
sounds
doing a terrible job.
Right, they keeping
Our
it.
kids are not coming out of there with anything.
That's the design.
I see quite a those kids today that came through my program, literally coming up to me saying, Ed, if it wasn't for you talking to me, I wouldn't be doing this today. And you know what a few of them are doing? Because I had it for a while. Even they finished their program, they used to come over there. Some of them are businessmen, created little small companies. One of them came to me, Eddie, I want to open up a store. How do I do it? I showed him how to get his DBA. I showed him how to get this. Because these kids don't know. They don't know who to turn to. They don't realize how simple it really is to be self-employed in this country.
The second bit that we need right
But
there.
without anybody telling them, because my theme is this, and it seems like the opinions in the United States seem to live by that. Best job in America is self-employment. So if we can make individual street dealers into entrepreneurs into business, because they are businessmen and women, because they're hustling. Every businessman is out there hustling too. So if we can redirect them and start opening up these stores and giving them help
Yep.
and creating out, and these small contractors that are being booted out from these job sites, if we can control them jobs and make sure they get paid every 10 days of the progress, we can revitalize this city, I could almost say overnight.
Yes.
When they see that energy growing, and programs like yours is what this area needs, because look at what Push did over there. And right now, I got on Push's case 4 years ago. Where's your kids? You got Lamparelli, you got this country, where's the workers? What do you mean, Ed? I said, hey, I didn't come in here for you to give these jobs away to everybody else. I want to see the kids back to work. And now, they're having a hard time doing it. But if they were smart, they'd be coming this way, which I think we should push them, even though they're your friends. I'm out. We're all our friends. Those guys are my buddies too. But they're having a hard time finding men. So why don't we take some of their resources and move them this way, and you train them for them so they can get the jobs?
And every time I go down there, they just give me students.
And I swear to you, I will go over there and I'll make racket, even they're all my friends, and I'm willing to gamble my campaign for it, which is not gonna happen because people who have a heart will stick with us.
Me and Chantel already
You know?
started that
I know where you started. You started that big meeting. I was there.
with Johnny.
I was there when you
With Johnny
guys were talking
Fenderson.
about planning what's everybody community need.
Listen,
That's something
just so
different.
y'all know, we've been doing that. That's done what you said.
Okay.
It's done. Johnny is a student from here.
Yeah.
Rochelle's a student from here.
Mm-hmm.
Tab is a student from here. Almost everybody you see in the weatherization office all come out of this program. So we've been
Okay,
doing
then.
it. And I got a meeting with Aaron Monday at 4. I've been putting a lot of pressure on Aaron also about making sure that community people are representing the jobs that it pushes doing for these apartment buildings and everything else.
Yeah, but Dorian and Spencer, I know we can create a program for them.
We can.
Where they can give those jobs here,
We can.
and we can go do them jobs
We can.
and make sure that
And
we
you know, I
operate,
love you,
you know?
but
Because
first we gotta get you
$3-4 million a year they're getting now,
Yeah.
okay? And I cannot see it going to those contractors. It's not what I gave my life up for 3.5 years over there. Believe me, when I tell you I gave my life up, I gave a lot of riches.
But first we gotta
I
get
had
you elected,
40
Eddie.
employees at that time.
Right.
Ed, let me just say this.
I'm sorry.
I had a meeting with the union, the painters local,
Okay.
and I told the business agent, I said, you know, subject came up about minorities participating in these jobs on the east side of Buffalo. I told the business agent, I said, with all the millions of dollars being spent today, okay, and all those jobs you got going on, you haven't got 25 blacks employed, and they got to have over 1,000 men working on those jobs. You haven't got 25 blacks.
I know.
what I would love for you to do when you get elected into Congress, okay? We need somebody to monitor the jobs with the authority to shut the job down if they're not meeting their 25%
Right.
or their percentages that they're supposed to meet. I'm talking about with balls enough to shut Simonelli down, shut Laparelli down, shut
Why,
Pacone.
then why are they working so hard against us? Because they know that I would do something like that.
That's right. But what I'm saying, you shut a white general contractor's job down, you got their attention, okay? You really got their attention. And the union, the general contractor is going to go back toward the union because that's where the problems are. These jobs, every federal, state, and county and city job
Yes.
is prevailing wages, which mean union wages. If the union don't have minorities already trained, then they can't supply the demand. So the general contractor is going to go back and say to the system, look at unions, how come you don't have any minorities? Okay? I told this guy, this BA, that it's going to fall back on the unions. So it's time for you guys to get smart. Because every job that's coming out of Washington,
Spencer.
the state, and every place else, okay, have a minority quota,
Spencer,
and they're not meeting it.
Can I tell you something?
Come on with
We
it.
don't have to wait for Congress to shut them down. We don't.
Come on with it. Tell me.
You want to shut them down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a new duty for all of us today. I'm giving a little order here today. Where's
She had to go pick up her son.
Okay.
I let her know.
Shut
to
up.
shut it
Make
down,
sure we
go
note this
downtown.
down.